It was right there.
LaMarcus Aldridge, man. Let's just call it what it is. These guys are dogging it to get out of situations, but they have not lost skills.
Maybe not L.A.
LaMarcus Aldridge almost put up a triple-double in his first game with the Nets.
I don't think he dogged it. He didn't dog it to the extent that Blake did. Blake dogged it.
You know what? That's true because San Antonio was like, "Yo, you suck. Sit down."
Yeah. And there was friction there. They didn't agree on everything. But like you said, there's guys essentially dogging it on the bench to get a favorable outcome for themselves, and there's been a lot of backlash over the buyout market by league executives because it does favor
small market guys, right?
Yeah, by small market teams. It favors the big market teams and it favors the contenders. It's basically the rich getting richer.
They're like, you can't, at this point in the season, you just can't be able to add without giving anything up.
Exactly. And
which is a fact.
And you're adding either a former superstar, a guy who knows how to play, even if you add a veteran player who's been a superstar and is no longer a superstar, they can still contribute in small minutes in short bursts off the bench. And they still got that IQ to be able to play.
Bro, just think about it this way: like typically, if you're a typically built team, your sixth option or seventh option is gonna be a guy that's like decent.
Yeah.
Now you have a former many-time All-Star, so a guy with proven basketball IQ, proven former skill set. We're not asking you, Blake, to go and get 30. But the fact that you are filling that role is such an advantage.
Yeah.
And then you add on all these guys, it's like he's really making it hard to root for him, this Kevin Durant guy. Like, he really makes it hard for.
I know.
And I know, Kevin. I'm not an NBA player. I don't play on the court, but bro, like. You can do it. Feel something. You have to feel something. Like every time these guys sign, like there's no feeling. He's like, oh man, like why? Like we don't need this.
We don't need this guy. Why are we going after
they're 28-6 with James Harden in the lineup, and Kevin Durant's missed a lot of those games.
They've played like 7 games together or something wild like that.
I think if my math is right, it should be 3 games.
That's it.
Because I think he played 19 games, Kevin Durant, and they're 8-8 with both of them in the lineup. But I could be wrong.
But they've played a small amount of games that the big three have played together, and this is twofold. It's at this point you don't care about competitiveness. You have no dignity at this point, especially a guy like Kevin Durant. Like Kevin Durant, you can go out there and dominate and score 30 a game,
which
and
he
win.
Was averaging before he went out.
You can still win a championship that way. You don't have to load up your roster, and I know Kevin is not the one loading up the roster, but Kevin can also say, nah, I don't want to bring in Blake. I don't want to bring in LaMarcus Aldridge. We can win without them. So you remove the competitive aspect out of it.
And the thing is, like, nobody said anything. Like, after the Harden thing, whatever. Like, people still were upset, but whatever. And then you add Blake, and then you add L.A., and then they're, oh, well, everyone told us we sucked for the last 2 years. Blake, that's because you literally faked it.
Yeah.
You literally acted like hilarious. You sucked.
Yeah, he literally did not want to play basketball. Yeah.
And then you come out in the 2 dunks in your first 2 games. You haven't dunked all season.
For 2 years, bro. Like 2 years.
Come on, bro. Oh, I still got it. We know you do. You've been hiding it.
Also, Andre Drummond goes to the Lakers. He decided not to.
Shocker there, too.
He decided he wanted to play. You know, I'm not sure if he would have played much on the Brooklyn Nets since they're already stacked. I'm sure he would have, though. But that's another example of.
I would have converted this whole podcast to a different sport if he went to Brooklyn.
Yeah. It's another case of rich getting richer, and I do think the league needs to come down and do something about the buyout market and do something about contending teams being able to go out and get these stars. Either limit it on the player end where players can't demand buyouts or have buyouts, or star players can't be doing these kinds of faking being bad or whatever. Or do it on the team end where a team above a certain winning percentage or whatever it may be. I don't know, whatever. But do it where you limit teams from adding these guys.
If you want to settle for a buyout, okay, you cannot sign to a team until next year.
Yeah, or that. Exactly.
Like, what is this nonsense, bro? Like 3 weeks before the playoffs, you pick up 2 former
stars.
10-time All-Stars.
Like, what's going on here? There's 42 All-Star appearances between all those guys on the Brooklyn.